online and you search for anything, it's usually a local plumber or a local janitor or some other regional business. But on TV, it's more national-based marketing campaign. So if there was really a way where the local or regional regional business really could get time on TV, that could really set in motion some true competition and an apples comparison between the two. And looking at what has been happening in terms of upfront ad sales, it's I'd like to bring your attention to the very last row, and when you look at the emerging channels that all of the participants would like to try, there's a clear trend for online video, whereas cable, of course, they're trying to go with their own media, right? So the ad market as such is a zero-sum game. So if the dollars are going away from one segment and the expenses being cut in one area, it's going to go up in another area. So the cable operators are really good, really hurting because of that, as more and more the advertisers shift their dollars to online media. And why is this really important? When you look at the growth here, the regional sports revenue refers to the local broadcast stations, and national reference to the national row refers to the national broadcasters, and the local and spot revenue refers to the cable operators. So the first two, actually the first row and the last row, see there's been almost 100% increase in the revenue since 2002. However, for the cable operators, it's been pretty minimal. I'd say close to 50%. So there's quite a bit of gap to really catch up for the cable operators. And why is it really important for them to look at catching up? The answer lies here. The cable operators and to a certain extent even the telcos have been very successful in sustaining their revenues, in fact growing their revenues by increasing their subscription for phone, which is voice or IP, and data, high-speed data. And these two services happen to be particularly margin-rich, and 30% plus in some cases, reaching up to 50%. And video is a very low-margin business for them. And when you couple that with the fact that the growth in broadband subscriptions and also VoIP is ultimately going to stabilize and mature, they really need other avenues to grow their revenue, and ad happens to be the natural choice here. And the other factor that's really pushing the cable operators to look at growing the ad revenue is when you start looking at video, which is to begin with a low margin service, and couple that with the content providers losing ad revenue. What they're doing is making up for that lost ad revenue by increasing the subscription cost that they charge the cable operators. A great example is what we've seen between Time Warner Cable and Viacom and the game of chicken they played towards the end of last quarter, towards the first quarter of this year. And Viacom really wanted to increase the subscription charge on a per subscriber basis because they lost 20% of ad revenue, and they really wanted to make up for that by increasing the subscription charge. So it's ultimately, when you look at it, it has a negative implication for the consumers too. So growing ad revenue for the cable operators is really, really important.
So Jayant, you say that the 5% of the revenue is also 80% of the margin? Can you say that? You say advertising is 5% of the revenue, but also could be the largest chunk of the margin overall.
No, I would say the biggest margin are still the high-speed data and voice.
In terms of absolute number or relative number?
In terms of relative numbers, when you talk about on a per subscriber basis, how much do they really make? Because it's pretty much pennies that it costs these service providers on a megabit per second basis. So, and when you see the online content consumption increase and more people turn to online distribution, it essentially marginalizes the broadband service, and that's really